For the movie's protagonist, Joy, Hong Kong is simply a stopover. In her quest to get a job in Canada and become a permanent resident there, along with her family, she has decided to work as a domestic helper in Hong Kong. This is the fastest way for her to earn enough money to apply for a job in Canada, which is aligned with her nursing degree. In Joy's mind, a 2-year contract as a domestic helper is simply a sojourn in her life's journey, a fast-paced one at that. Hong Kong is a place where no one stays still. Every second counts. As long as you're moving, you must work to keep living. Aside from saving money for her personal aspirations, she also sends money back to her family, making her the breadwinner. Even though there are times she has nothing for herself, she still thinks about her family. When times get tough, she accepts other odd jobs to make ends meet. She sells merchandise and offers discreet pedicure services when she goes to Central Park, where other domestic helpers also gather. The thing is, doing jobs other than her official work is illegal in the country. Therefore, Joy needs to be careful to avoid capture from enforcers. Joy convinces herself to persevere, as she's almost done paying for her work visa for Canada. In just about 4 months, she's going to leave Hong Kong and start achieving her dreams for her family. But just when she's about to finish her work, life throws her a curveball named Ethan Del Rosario. Ethan works as a bartender at an open-air bar where Joy secretly accepted the job as a waitress. When 2 policemen happen to conduct a surprise inspection on the establishment, Joy immediately escapes and runs for her life. She manages to evade the officers, but not Ethan. As it happens, Ethan has also followed Joy. He's attracted to her right off the bat, and he's aware of why she ran, so he wants to offer help. When the officers walk past them, Joy grabs Ethan's face and kisses him ardently, making them look like a couple in the officer's eyes. Ethan likes it. What man wouldn't like being kissed by a woman he's attracted to? But Joy is only seeing him as the convenient excuse to escape the officers. Since then, Ethan pursues Joy relentlessly. He texts her, greets her through radio greetings, and creates attention just so she would notice him. He likes the thrill of the chase that he's experiencing with Joy. But Joy has no time for him, as she has more than enough on her plate. Joy's employer is about to terminate her contract before its end, due to lack of financial resources. But Joy bargains to maintain her contract by letting her employer pay half of her salary. Next, her siblings are asking for some new shoes. Joy can't say no to them because she can't bear to see them sad and let them feel resentment for her. Then, her mother Lita calls, seemingly in distress. But it turns out it's just a ruse so she can see her daughter again. We learn from their conversation that Lita married her former employer as part of a long-term plan to petition Joy and the rest of the family to Hong Kong. But Lita has fallen in love with her husband now. Although she's vague about it, Lita implies she doesn't want to be with Joy and the others once they go to Canada. But Joy stubbornly tells her mother she will get her regardless. She leaves and rides a bus to her next destination. Inside the bus, Joy meets JM, her ex. JM looks happy with his pregnant wife. Meanwhile, Joy looks miserable. She valiantly tries to keep a happy face while battling with shame, frustration, and hopelessness. Right on time, Ethan calls her phone. Joy uses him again as an excuse, pretending he's her boyfriend. When she gets out of the bus, Joy feels exhausted in her dealings. She's so distracted, she forgot to fetch the little girl she's taking care of from school. Because of this negligence, her employer berates her and threatens to end her contract. Fed up by all the emotional stress she's gotten that day, Joy finally calls Ethan to spend a night together. But once they're alone, she breaks down and cries. Ethan is lost on how to console Joy. She leaves him and proceeds to stay by the Bay Area. The pretty city lights twinkle and illuminate the cityscape, but all of it is lost on Joy. Ethan follows her. From their conversation, we learn more about their backgrounds and emotions. Joy lets him know that she has no romantic feelings for him, that her previous words and actions have no meaning. Ethan is impressed because this is his first time getting rejected by a woman. Normally for him, it's only about the intercourse and nothing else. He concludes that for a woman to leave him alone, he has to say "I love you" every time. Joy says those 3 words to him, intending to mean that he should leave her alone. But Ethan is already intrigued, and he's simply not letting her go. He tries to coax her into talking about her problems, as he's genuinely curious about why Joy broke down earlier. When she continues to keep quiet, Ethan shares his story first. He's the eldest of 3 siblings, but also the foolish one according to him, because of his ex-girlfriend. People have called him a loser and useless, so he's decided to live up to those names since it's much easier than proving he's more than those things. Joy looks at him. She realizes the sincerity and sadness in Ethan's voice despite his "I don't care" attitude. Eventually, she shares her deepest feelings about her situation. Joy says there are times she wants to be selfish and forget her responsibilities. She wants to have agency in her life, but her family circumstances don't give her much choice. When Ethan goads her to shout all her problems away, she stands up and lets out all the pent-up frustrations and bitterness. For once, she wants to work for the things she wants for herself. She has bigger dreams than her current situation. She wants more, and she knows she's capable of having more. Ethan looks at her in awe. He feels envious because she knows what she wants in life. At that moment, he starts believing in her. Ethan offers himself to be her present, as he doesn't plan to be her future. This is his way of indirectly offering help, as he feels like Joy won't accept it if directly given. Joy says she has no time to play games with him, but Ethan has already made up his mind. Since that fateful night, Ethan has done his best to accompany Joy whenever she's working on a side hustle. Sometimes he buys her merchandise, and sometimes he involves his friends to help her sell her products. He has to adjust a lot at first, because Joy always moves at a lightning pace. For her, any time she's not earning money is a time wasted, and so she's always on the go. She only has 2 months remaining before she leaves for Canada, and she still needs to pay for the remainder of her work visa. Ethan suggests they should become a couple, since it would suit both of them. Once she leaves Hong Kong, their relationship will be over too. In response, Joy says, "I love you," in which she means he should leave her alone. This has become a running joke between them. Ethan reminds her not to say those words too often, because there may come a time she'll say those words true to their meaning. With the help of Ethan, Joy gets hired again at the bar where he works, this time as a dishwasher. Joy can feel that she's slowly falling for him. One night, she witnesses a drunk customer making a scene at the bar. This man turns out to be Edward, Ethan's younger brother. He airs out his resentment for his brother, who could have been a successful doctor if not for the stupid thing he did before. Ethan has to calm his brother down and lead him out. He doesn't return to the bar after this incident, which makes Joy worry for him. She decides to visit Ethan, and when she finds his residence, she learns more about his family situation. The father is disabled, and both Ethan and Edward take care of him. Furthermore, Joy learns that Ethan should have become a permanent resident way before, but he fell in love and followed his ex-girlfriend to the United States 3 years before becoming an official Hong Kong resident. However, the relationship didn't work. Ethan was deported for overstaying and was blacklisted. When he returned to Hong Kong, he had to start his application again to become a resident. His father was disappointed because Ethan wasted his opportunity to become a doctor and to be a resident. But Edward was more disappointed. Ethan was his hero, and when he left for the US, Edward had no choice but to shoulder all the responsibilities. Now, the youngest sibling is about to come to Hong Kong and aims to be a permanent resident too. Ethan wants to make up for his past blunders, so he's doing his best to support his family. He doesn't want to disappoint his family again, so he's intent on completing 3 more years for his residency. With his situation, Ethan knows he can't leave Hong Kong, at least for a while. He turns to Joy and pleads with her not to go to Canada anymore. But Joy only smiles. She encourages him that it's not too late for him to do what he wants to do. To earn more money, Joy decides to join Miss Central 2019. It's a pageant held by Filipino organizers for their fellow Filipinos working there. Fortunately for Joy, she wins a place in the pageant, but she also discovers that one of the main judges is Tanya, Ethan's ex-girlfriend. Joy strongly feels jealous that she avoids Ethan when they get back to work at the bar. Ethan is happy to know she feels this way because that means she loves him too. Even though Joy keeps reminding him that her time in Hong Kong is limited, Ethan pleads with her to give themselves a chance at love. He promises he won't ask for more. All he wants is to cherish their remaining moments together. Eventually, Joy gives in, and they become an official couple. Their friends celebrate them, as they know how much Ethan and Joy love each other. True to his words, Ethan helps Joy in saving money to pay the balance for her work visa. However, he soon realizes that Joy's departure is coming sooner than he likes, so he comes up with a plan to change her mind. Ethan decides to put up a bar of his own. Joy is happy for him, and she genuinely thinks he will succeed in this endeavor. There are some challenges, of course, like finding the right location and getting loans for the capital money. Ethan also meets strong disapproval from Edward. Since Ethan is doing this mainly to convince Joy to stay, Edward thinks this may be a repeat of when Ethan left the family for a girl. But Ethan assures him this time is different, and he won't let the family down. All he asks is a little trust from them that he can change. Finally, Joy pays her work visa in full and is only waiting for her plane ticket to Canada. She calls her mother, only to find her in the hospital. Joy has always known that her mother suffers at the hands of her husband, so seeing her with bruises is the last straw for Joy. Still, Lita is adamant about staying with her husband. It's then that Joy finds out it's her father back home who initially urged Lita to marry her employer. Back then, Lita couldn't afford to come back home because of poverty, and so, despite her wishes and moral sense, she married her employer so she could continue providing for the family. Through the years, she lost her love for Joy's father and has developed a sense of loyalty and marital responsibility to her current husband. Joy confronts her father, who admits everything. The father then decides that if Lita doesn't want to be with them in Canada, then they should just stay home. He even asks Joy to come home instead of going to Canada. Joy is devastated. It's like all her hard work has been made useless at this point. She's done her best to be a good daughter, but no one seems to see her efforts in making her family whole. Ethan consoles her, saying that maybe fate is trying to send a message. Perhaps Joy shouldn't leave Hong Kong. He proposes to her to be his co-investor, but only in name. That way Joy can stay, and they'll be together managing Ethan's business. He also asks her to marry him, but Joy refuses all of this. What about her? She wants to put her nursing degree to use, and that's why she applied in Canada in the first place. She'll lose her dreams and herself in the process if she goes along with his plans. She still wants to go to Canada because this is the first time she's choosing something she wants for herself. Ethan asks her if she loves him. Of course she does, but that's not the question here. However, for Ethan, that's the question. He's done everything for Joy and made sacrifices just so she will choose to stay with him. Because he loves her. Joy asks, if he loves her, why is he making her choose? Ethan retorts, if she loves him, why not choose him? Ethan's concept of love means seeing the woman he loves, holding her, and being with her, giving everything he has so that his love is reciprocated. For Joy, that's not all there is in love. There's also trust, and being able to fulfill oneself so they can reciprocate the love. Joy asks him to trust her and to let her fly on her own wings. She loves him and always will. But they both have to make compromises so that in the end, they won't be filled with what-ifs and won't resent each other. Although they don't talk for a couple of days after their confrontation, they eventually decide to settle things between themselves. Joy says she loves him, but she apologizes for leaving him. However, Ethan says it should be him who should be sorry for holding her back in achieving her dreams. They both promise to work hard so that they can be in each other's futures. It will hurt, but they hope that one day they can be together again. Joy spends her remaining time in Hong Kong with Ethan. After making amends with her employer and smoothing things out, she's finally ready to leave. Indeed, Hong Kong is simply a stopover in Joy's life. But that's where she met the man who's changed her life. And that's Ethan. The man whom she made a promise to be better, so they can meet again when they're meant to stay together.